Hello everyone. So as we're watching Edward going through the open seas, I'm not even touching the controller right now. Let's discuss whether or not Haytham would have been better off as an assassin. Now if you don't know what this is Assassin's Creed 4. This is Edward Kenway, father of Haytham Kenway. He is an assassin. Right now in this part of the story, he's still just a pirate wearing assassin's clothes because he killed an assassin. But later on in the game, he's going to become an assassin. I don't know when, because I ain't never played this game in full before, but I'm going to see what happens. Anyway, later in his life, he gives, not gives birth, but his son is Haytham Kenway. Haytham isn't a Templar, which is enemies to the assassins. Templars have so much in common. Why did I say it like that? Templars have so much in common with assassins, but they are always butting heads when it comes to the philosophy surrounding their ideals of how the world should work. Oh, that was a whale. That was a whale. So when it comes to Haytham Kenway, his life has been nothing short of a tragedy. As he grew older, Edward, his father, had eventually died due to an ambush happening from a Templar who takes in Haytham and as well as his sister. However, his sister is put into slavery, I think in the Caribbean. It's been a while since explaining this game. But basically Haytham is trained and grows up to be a Templar his whole life, but he never really knows the truth of what truly happened due to the fact that the one who trains and raises him is the one who killed his father. Now, may I just say in this part of the video that my opinion of Haytham Kenway is that he made AC3 really good for me. It's one of the reasons it's one of the best games, him and Connor. Without even one of them, I don't think the game would have been as great as it did. Their philosophical battles on whether or not their side is wrong and the idea of what freedom truly is and how out of control it really can be, those made the game what it is. Many people probably thought it was boring. They hated on Connor's character. Ooh, what location are we looking at? Yeah, I'll go to that later. Turn around. Ah! Okay, I'll go to that later. But the point I'm trying to make here is Haytham honestly is like one dark robed and hat away from being an assassin, if I'm being honest with you. I'm almost to my destination, yay. He is, and you get to watch this screen now. I may do just miniature parts to this. Oh, I gotta continue. I'm gonna just leave it on the screen. But back to my point, his mannerisms, the way he walks and stuff like that. I know Connor is his son, so of course he's gonna have some mannerisms like it, but he's never met his father until he gets older. So for Connor and Haytham to walk the way they are, kind of like just intimidating, how Haytham basically climb buildings. It's like there's other guards that can climb buildings as well, but the way he assassinates his people as well, it's too much. He's too assassin-like for a Templar. Because the Templars beforehand in Ezio's games and Altair's games, they've been evil, like obnoxiously evil, Disney villain type evil, damn near, just no return type of evil. And yet we see this Templar we play as, and some of his points just hit right, just nail on the head to the point where it's just like, dang, maybe we're wrong, maybe we were the villain. Are we the villain? We can't be the villain. Like that type of stuff. Now with this thought process, there's a lot of questions to really ask. Some of the few of them is just like, what if his dad didn't die in the most ridiculous way that he died? I would rant all about it, but I'm not. What if Haytham was trained to be an assassin by his father? What if his sister wasn't taken and enslaved in the Caribbean or something like that? It's been years since I played the game, but I think that's how I remembered it. What if he had fought his entire life to defeat the Templars? Would he still be the same way? Still have the same way of speech and stuff? Still have the same way of carrying himself? He'd be even deadlier. I think he's deadly either way, but I feel like he'd be even deadlier. But it just raises my thought on that, Okay, for this part, let's talk about the assassins in AC3. Or just AC Americas, Shay, Cormax, assassins were kind of the same as basically AC3. Except we only see like one in AC3. So they suck. They're trash. They're actually straight garbage. I am surprised that Connor did not fail as an assassin the way that he was trained by one of the worst assassins I have seen. Now, what this has to do with basically Haytham's whole thing of would he be better as an assassin, what this has to do with it is that the assassins of the Americas edition were so bad, it makes you think that a Templar is correct. Like, they were that trash. What happened in it was, there's a game called AC Rogue. Main character is Shay Patrick Cormac. He was basically an assassin at first until his Templar brethren were completely wrong in whatever plan they were making, and he was going against them, and one of them basically shot him. They shot him, he fell off a cliff and was rescued by these random elderly couple, and then along the way he eventually became a Templar. In AC3 there is Connor Kenway. I will say his real name, I cannot say it. His mentor is Achilles. Achilles in that game is the same Achilles in AC Rogue. He's the leader of a group of assassins. Their plan was to retrieve the Apple of Eden from a cave, or something of Eden from a cave. I don't think it was shaped like an apple at the time. Either or. It was the destruction of either the world or a huge city. That it would have ruined everything, and they were going to take it from the cave anyway. They were not thinking with their plan. They basically were just winging it. They were winging it, like how I'm doing with this video. They were winging it. Ooh, look at the pretty waters. Oh yeah, so clear. The thing is, the group of assassins Shay Patrick Cormac was with, they were so incompetent at being what they were. He legit went to the Templar Order because of the fact that they made a huge mistake, were too egotistical to think over what they were doing. They thought they were so correct in their ways. They didn't listen. And it's just like, what? You know, so me thinking that Haytham, like, you know, is right in many instances makes me think I don't know if he would have been better off as an assassin, because the American assassins suck, but he is British, so you know, and Edward, he ain't from America, baby, so he would not be raising his son to be dumb, because oh my gosh, he wouldn't raise his son to be like that in any way, you know. However, I can't shake the feeling that Haytham is better off being a Templar than an assassin. For one thing, he is very formal, and I don't know if I can see him as an assassin being any differently from how he is now. And I feel like he's much, I don't want to say smarter. It's not like assassins are dumb. They're not dumb or anything and stuff like that. They all go through enough tragedy to wisen up and learn lessons and stuff. But I feel like he's probably better off, like he has more wisdom being a Templar, I guess, you know. But then again, as time went on and he learns about the betrayal and what really happened with his family, he becomes more unhinged. Like, he was more dangerous, and that had nothing really to do with him. Actually, it did have something to do with him being a Templar. He was raised to be a Templar by a man who murdered his father and enslaved his sister. So it has everything to do with him being a Templar as to why he was more unhinged later on in AC3. His whole life is a lie. The best parts of it was taken away from him and replaced with him having this unshakable duty to preserve the world and its order. And it's like, that's not a life to live. I see why he went damn near insane, murdering anybody, not really leaving anybody behind to live. I know I'm going back and forth with this, and yeah, Edward's in the water. I'm not taking him out. But that is the idea of it all. Like, him being a Templar, it did drive him to be more fatal, like just dealing blows left and right, being impatient and all that. Him being a Templar, his life is a lie. If he were an assassin, and if he were raised by his father to be an assassin, He'll have to deal with loss, of course, like that, but at least he'll be around the people he still knows and cares for, you know? However, the thing is, what if his story was still the same? Like, Edward still dies, his sister is still enslaved, except he is an assassin rather than a Templar. Would it be any different? Like, there's more questions to pile on with it. It's more things to think about. How would his life be different? He'll be following a line where his father was walking across, you know? But it makes me think, which ideal would be something he would choose? The idea of freedom or the idea of order? Which one? Which one would he think about when he was an assassin rather than a Templar? There's so much to think about with this. I love this game. I love this character. That's why I'm really honestly making a video like this. Because I'm playing it as his dad. And I'm realizing there is so much they have nothing in common with. Them, they're nothing in common with. And it's sad. I see more stuff that Edward and Connor have in common. Rather, I'm about to die. Ooh. I see more stuff they have in common. Like, you know, Edward, the grandfather, has more stuff in common with Connor, his grandson, rather than his own son. It's like, I'm noticing it more and more. And it's like, I wonder about Haytham. So yes, talking about a 12-year-old game. Actually, is it 12 years? I don't feel like doing math right now. It's easy math, but I don't feel like doing it. But yes, that was the video. I hope you like seeing some parts of Edward just chilling, not really touching my controller much at all. But yeah, that's it. See you guys.